And good.
Okay.
Thank you for coming back to the Limelight Podcast. Joining me with Zach is Tyler from CaliberTV. Thank you, dude, for coming on and getting to chat. And congratulations on the Darko video that you guys recently released. And it looks incredible. It's something different that I've never seen before from what you guys have released.
Thank you, dude. Really appreciate it. Happy to be here.
What's
again
yeah, again, let's get another one, dude. Let's get another video just like that. I mean, I'm sure they're recording an album. I'm sure they're gonna be putting something out soon, so it seems like you guys are gonna be within that band for quite some time. You guys gonna work on any other projects with them, with videography or anything else?
I'm hoping to. Yeah, Josh and Tom have been working on a new album. They are working on a full-length album, and I think they've fully announced that on Twitter and Instagram and stuff. I don't think they have a Darko band page for Twitter, but they've definitely announced that they're working on an album. And they're working with our guy who does Caliber Audio, actually, so Ashtone Audio. So they're currently working on that together. But who knows? I'm hoping that I can do a music video for Darko. I was talking to Josh about it, and we were planning on something, but something came up. So maybe in the future we'll be able to. But yeah, I'd absolutely love to do more with Darko. That video turned out really cool, and I'm super stoked on it.
In the comments section, yeah, it does look awesome. In the comments section, is it true that his guitar or his strings were set upside down? Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, yeah. Was that
Really?
purpose? Yeah.
Yeah, he's playing the whole guitar swapped. So, I mean,
What?
Josh is really interesting with the way he plays.
Seems it.
He's just an incredible musician.
I wonder what the reasoning is for that. I mean, I'm not opposed to it. It's just I'm so confused. Like,
Yeah,
that's
it's
an
really
incredible
Well, I
thing to
think
look
he's-
at.
I think he's left-handed. So he plays guitar like with his left hand. So he swaps like a right-sided guitar on the left.
Oh, I see what you're talking about.
I'm not entirely sure how he plays drums because I'm not a drummer, but I did notice in the comment section that someone was saying that he's left-handed, but he leads with his right. And I don't know if that's true. I'll have to talk to Josh and confirm it, but I'm not a drummer, so I have no idea.
He might be ambidextrous or however you
George,
pronounce
did you
that.
notice that at all?
With his drumming at
Yeah.
all? No, dude, I had no idea. I mean, it's set up for being a right-handed drummer, for sure. So, I mean, if I go back and look at the video, I don't think I would see any differences whatsoever. I think it would just be
I know
entirely
the
the same
reasoning
thing.
for people like playing like upside down, like opposite-handed guitars is like usually most lefty players usually start out playing because they can't afford a left-handed guitar because usually you have to buy them new. It's hard to find them like in a pawn shop or something like that, and they're not handed down very often. So I wonder if that has something to do with it. Like, because I'm pretty sure that's how Jimi Hendrix started, playing the upside down like Strat.
Yeah,
It's 'cause-
Jimi Hendrix plays upside down, or he did. Yeah.
Yeah, it's because he
It's
couldn't
true.
afford it. Apparently, I never talked to the guy, so
I'm just not a fan of discriminating against left-handed guitar players, so we need to fix that. So I mean, how have you been, dude? Like, how's Alfredo? Like, you know, during the quarantine and everything, everybody's doing their own situation and trying to stay afloat with how they go about their art or their music, and you know, it seems like you guys aren't stopping anytime soon. It seems that you actually have a lot going on, which is fucking awesome for, you know, the whole team, in the Caliber corner.
Yeah, we've been doing great. I mean, I've been booking out music video shoots. Dropped one a couple weeks ago with Haskin, and that was for Justin Haskin, who's in a Lost Conduit and a band called Desolist, and they're local around here, and shooting a couple more music videos over the next 2 months. I've also got weddings.
nice.
That's a main thing that I've branched out to during quarantine is wedding business. My girlfriend runs an amazing wedding photography company, and she's
lovely.
done that for years. And now we're bringing multimedia to it. So now I'm doing video work for weddings, and I'm actually doing one of my first under her company in the end of September. So that'll be really fun. And we're kind of just expanding into that to make money during all of this, and probably into the foreseeable future. So
that's pretty fortunate you could work with your girlfriend on that. It's pretty awesome.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, she's a super talented photographer, and we just built up her website and added me onto it, and
Nice.
built out packages, and we're looking like a $10,000 company, but we're not.
Fuck yeah.
Power couple, man.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, those weddings are expensive. I used to work at a venue, and I always admire the photographers or the videographers, which is just because that whole process is live in the moment. You're capturing every single second, and it's cool. I don't know if I'd be able to, I'm an amateur with taking photos and all that jazz, but I think I'd be. I usually cry when they walk down the aisle, so I don't think that's the right gig for me. Oh, I'm so soft, dude, and it happens on a rare occasion. Like this one lady, she walked down the aisle with her dad, and there was two guys playing 12-string guitars, and they were playing "Here Comes the Sun" by the Beatles, and I was like, get the fuck, like this is gorgeous.
Nice.
This is gorgeous. This is so beautiful. No, but that's awesome that you guys are able to stay afloat and everything. With everything going on. From what I've seen over the years, you guys have done a lot of live production videos, whether it was in venue, and the biggest one that you guys had was Warped Tour 2018. That was pretty sick. It seemed like you guys were on for a good amount of time. I mean, with how much live acts that you put out into the internet. So like, how long were you guys on that Warped Tour? I mean, was it like the full 3-month run? Was it like a couple weeks? Because I was on a week for Warped Tour in 17, but we just missed you guys because you guys were on in 18.
Yeah, so 2016 was the only year that we were actually on buses. So when we got hired by Warped in 2016, we were on the buses for a week, and we had a couple days off in between. And then we flew back and did all of our editing. And then in 2018, we drove all that ourselves. So,
Damn.
Yeah, we've done that. I mean, many years. We actually drove, from Sacramento down to Pomona, I believe, or Ventura, and we filmed a date there. Then we drove to, if I'm not mistaken, I don't remember. I think this is how the schedule was. But we left there right after the show ended and drove all the way down to Arizona. And then we filmed Arizona the next day. And then we had a couple days off in Vegas. So next morning, we wake up from Arizona and we drove all the way to Las Vegas, and the tour had like a 2-day off. So we all hung out in Las Vegas and just
not a bad spot to
fun.
take a break at.
Exactly.
That had to have been.
And then we just like partied for a couple days, and then we worked on filming at the Hard Rock Cafe, and that one was really cool because they actually had like a pool up to a stage. With a bunch of sand going into it. So people were like moshing out there. Icy Stars got people just going ham, doing flips into the pool, and it was just mayhem. But it was really cool. That was actually like the coolest Warped Tour I've ever been to, was there in Vegas. I mean, it wasn't cool. It was hot.
I'm sure it was really hot. I feel like crabcore is more acceptable in that kind of atmosphere. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
exactly. But yeah, and that year we drove back from Las Vegas, and we drove all the way to LA, dropped off our friend in LA, and then drove all the way back up to Sacramento. It ended up being like a 14-hour drive or something.
Ooh.
And it was just like, it was nuts. I remember hitting, like, we were so sleep deprived, like, because we left the night of Vegas. We finished filming Vegas, and it was like midnight or 1 a.m, and we're filling up gas, and we're driving all the way back all night And I just remember being so sleep deprived. We're all just loopy. We arrive at our friend's house, and we all get out of the car, and we've all been kind of like grumpy with each other. And then we see that our friend's sprinkler has been broken off and is spraying like 20 feet in the air and spraying the roof of the house. And we're all just so sleep deprived. We're just busting up laughing. We're just like laughing our asses
That's
off.
the best kind of laugh, man.
We literally like nothing made sense. We're like, we don't know what it's funny. It was just hilarious after driving for so long and being angry at each other. And then I just remember driving back to Sacramento, just the whole drive, just going like, we're going to make it not much longer. But yeah, Warped Tour has always been amazing. It's been an amazing experience, whether we've been on the tour or whether we've been accommodated to come out.
Mm-hmm.
But we've done that a couple of years where we just literally, we drive on our own money, and we,
Mm-hmm.
we all pitch in, we all get a hotel, and we all do this. Warped 2016, we were paid by Warped Tour to come out. But the other years we were accommodated by them, and we were given, some amenities and stuff to come out and do it. So
How
Did you have,
was
like, this,
it?
do it.
Did you have like this moment of like, I've made it? When did you get that?
Kind of. I mean, yes. I mean, when we got hired in 2016, that was the first time we ever got hired for anything. We'd just been doing it and doing it. So when we met with everybody, like we had one of our friends, Tim KM. He's a YouTuber. He works in the scene. He shoots photos for a lot of bands, and he actually lived down near the Warped headquarters, and he went and met with Kevin Lyman, like dropped our proposal for us, and then we kind of all came down there shortly afterwards to meet with them once they were interested.
Mm-hmm.
And it was really exciting because like we had never done anything like that before, and we were finally going to get to work for Warped, which we'd been filming for years. And we were slowly, steadily making progress and, improving our craft. And Kevin saw that, and he saw what we were, trying to do, and he gave us a huge shot. And I'm very grateful for that, because that kind of helped launch what we do. When we did those videos for Warped, it was a big, oh shit, who are these guys moment, like people started paying attention to us more.
Yeah.
And I think we did 46 videos for Warped in 2016, that summer, the summer that we were hired.
Jesus Christ.
So
that's like what?
yeah,
That's a lot of work, man.
That's a lot of work. That's like
Yeah.
you don't get time to stop at all. I mean, you could just probably drink all the Monster water you can. What the? Yeah.
Yeah. Well, the tour actually, like, we went at the very beginning of the tour, so we were there on production day, getting everything ready, and then we hit the first few dates, and then we had to fly home. So like we hit the first 4 dates, and we had 3 dates to get everything fully done, and anything that was either messed up, whether there was a problem with production or whether it just wasn't a solid performance, or, like some of the dates were really hot, and, some of there was tons of dirt in the air, and it affects vocalists and different things. So if there was a performance where some artist was like, we don't really feel like we performed our best, then we scheduled that for the last 4th day. Like things happen, sound can go out, there can be problems. Sometimes there's things where things are set back by 5 minutes, and, you miss a song that needs to happen. Things happen on Warped Tour. And, it doesn't happen often, but you always got to prepare for, the worst or what's going to happen. I mean, we had in Louisiana where there was a thunderstorm that canceled like 4 bands. There was a massive thunderstorm, and it was everybody had to go inside for shelter until the storm passed. So like it was like, a lot of bands, couldn't perform. So, you have to kind of prepare for the worst. And, we had 46 videos that we needed to film that year, and we had 4 days to get all those bands, filmed. And it wasn't 46 bands, but it was, 46 total videos at the end of the year.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think all of them made it because, we sent them off to Warped, and we worked with Warped with sending them off to the artists and the labels, and, and they would decide ultimately if they wanted it to go out. And a lot of them did, and there are a lot that didn't. But, working for Warped was like definitely one of the coolest experiences that I've had to this day, for sure.
I feel like there's like a common thread with a lot of people that talk about their Warped Tour experience, especially like being like on the ground up. Like obviously you guys are pretty new, but it seems like Kevin's got an eye for that, and he kind of like, it's very hard to see people respect that and actually want to give opportunity like that. Like that's such a great story.
Yeah,
and you hear it all the time too.
Yeah, he's one of the greatest guys ever. Like, I mean, Kevin's literally so nice. I've never met somebody who he looks at you and he believes in you. And that's a huge thing with Kevin, is like, you can tell that he really believes in you. And like, when we first met with him, they had Yahoo doing stuff for them for all the live streams. And like,
I remember that.
They let go of Yahoo for us, and like that was huge. Like,
Jesus.
The fact that he was like,
it's amazing,
right? And like,
put that on your resume.
Yeah, I mean, for us as kids who'd just been doing it, like,
yeah.
I mean, we basically just figured. I mean, we were adults, but we were young adults, and we still figured ourselves as like kids who were just trying to figure it out.
Sure.
We didn't know anything about the music industry, and we were just, working as hard as we could to make it and do what we wanted to do. And like, Kevin was the first person to like actually like listen to us and be like, I believe in you guys and I'll hire you. So,
that's such a huge risk for him to take too, and he still does it. Like that's amazing.
That is, I never thought of it like that. That is actually kind of a risk. I mean, when you see the work that you guys have done, it's kind of a no-brainer. But it's just, when you got a corporate company coming in, or let alone, I want to say like a handful of guys that are, or girls that are really professional in what they're doing, like sometimes those executive decisions can be easily made and they go to corporate, you know what I mean? But I also saw some of those Yahoo lives, and I think Sleeping with Sirens was one of the videos that they messed up when they streamed live. Did you see that, where the backtracks were delaying and they were looping before they even performed, dude? And I was like, Yahoo's really fucking up right now. So, but
yeah, and I mean, a lot of people like even said like, when we dropped those videos that year, how much better the audio was than Yahoo.
That's awesome,
and
dude.
And all the other previous streams. But like, we weren't even good back then. Like we were but like, like we've changed our whole process now. Like the way that we capture audio now is way different. It would have never worked in Warped Tour's environment. Like if we ever are able to record that many bands at Warped Tour ever again, we're going to have special boards that we bring out just for us. Like if like when we worked this last summer, the last Warped on 2019, we specifically worked with them to get a specific board each, like the days that we were there, they were at the stages that we needed to film at, because without those boards, we weren't capable of it. So, before we were running in between sound tents and we had recording devices that were set up, that were going through the board, but it was a totally different process. And, that audio, we weren't capable of editing it to how it should have been. We're basically, we were taking like a mixed down version from the board. And in 2016, it was like, we only got audio as good as what was capable of the person who was running the board. And a lot of times it's not even their fault, because they're tuning for a live show, not for an internet show. So basically, we're getting these files that are a little mismatched because they're bumping tons of bass into it and all these things for the live experience. And we're not getting the exact same thing back. So our new process allows us to have complete control over the audio, and, things have changed tenfold for us within, the past 2 years. So
That must be such a relief just to have that at a minimum.
yeah, definitely.
Yeah, seriously. And Kevin does have an eye for. I mean, like, dude, it was like it's pretty self-explanatory. I mean, he was my honorary first guest. He, and that kickstarted this whole podcast. So I thank him all the time. Every time I can. But he gets it. He gets what we're aiming for. He gets the passion that we have. I mean, if there was competition out there with Caliber, which I don't think there is much. I know there's a couple other channels. There's BVTV. There's a couple other people who do just drum cams. I think I can't pronounce his name. It's like Kayam drum videos or something.
Yeah, Tim Kayam.
Yeah,
That's
dude's
who
pretty
I was
rad.
mentioning earlier.
Yeah,
He's the guy who actually he went on 2016 Warped with us and helped us film, and he was the one who set up the meeting with Kevin.
Nice.
He was the first person to meet with Kevin,
Mhm.
and then we came down and talked with Kevin as a group. So
Mhm.
yeah, Tim Kayam's awesome. Yeah, and BBTV is actually kind of run by us. So
Oh,
surprise, motherfucker!
yeah,
How
I
does
never
that
knew
work?
that. Yeah, how does that work?
the guy who runs the back angle at the soundboard, his name is Alex Kaderabek, and he actually runs BBTV. BBTV is his YouTube channel, but he also films for Caliber. And we struck a partnership a couple years back where we started working together, and we put Caliber videos on BBTV like all the time. So he's constantly getting the live videos that like we will work together to film an artist, and then we'll get these songs, he'll get these songs, and we split them that way. And it's a great way for us to push things out into the internet. And BBTV's got a bigger sub base than we do, just based on doing not subscriptions, based on doing music video releases and showcasing new artists. And he's got a great platform for that, and a lot of people there actually want to find new music. And
for sure.
on top of it, they occasionally get the live videos which are thrown at them. So yeah, and small fact is all that BBTV graphic is done by me.
Hey, that's what I'm
it's
talking
your horn a little bit, but I
about.
like it.
Yeah.
So we can say that you guys cornered the market, and don't try starting a live YouTube channel with filming bands, because you're not gonna. No, I'm just kidding. I would
Yeah,
never do
I'm
that
on-
to somebody.
I'm on BBTV right now, just kind of looking at what I could see. Like it looks very similar. I can definitely see.
If you look at the logos of Caliber,
Yep.
BBTV,
It makes
they're the
sense
same.
now.
I do all the animation work and all the branding and the graphics. So like they're very similar, and it's intentional. Like they're supposed to be similar. We're definitely a thing together. While Caliber is obviously the video company, like we're the ones who put together all the videos and we edit them and we do all of that. He's just, AK's a part of it, and he has filmed with us for years, and we'll always throw videos on there. It'll always drop in. Like now it says BBTV presents a video by CaliberTV.
Okay.
And then starts the video. So yeah, I don't think we were clear with that before. It was always like BBTV, and then it would just start.
It was
And then at
probably
the end, you'd
conspiracy.
see like, CaliberTV, BBTV.
Yeah.
So we were never like really like obvious with it.
Yeah,
but
you never announced it publicly, but I mean, the conspiracy can be put to rest now. I mean, like now that I think about it, maybe that's why Pat and Gino's in Philadelphia is such a staple to Philly. Maybe they just work together and we just don't know. Maybe it's just all PR. You don't think so, Zach?
Absolutely no way.
Well, I'm not eating there anyway, so it doesn't matter. Like
I know.
they're both pretty gross for.
So wait,
being
is it
cheesesteak
like
in Philly.
Hardee's? Is it like Hardee's and Carl's Jr.? Wait, are they?
Are they?
Are they the same
Are they the same thing?
What?
We don't have Hardee's and Carl's Jr. here.
No.
Yeah, I've never seen a Hardee's and a Carl's Jr. in the same location ever.
I wonder why. I never see
I wonder
BBTV
why.
and Caliber in the same room at the same show. I don't get it.
They're never. Yeah,
That's
we're there. We're there. I promise.
That's awesome, man. No, I never would have. You can kind of see like the similarities, but I don't think that's something that I would just be like, I wonder if they're working together and stuff, because I don't see a lot of channels. I don't see a lot of competition. I'm sure in the beginning when you guys started this video production company, there was a lot of competition, I'm sure, within California getting this up and running.
Yeah. Actually, in Sacramento alone, there were like 3 or 4 live channels when we were
Really?
starting. Yeah. None of them were like, exploding, but they were out there every night filming stuff. And then we would show up and they'd just be like, oh shit, it's Caliber. So,
we should just leave.
we had a couple guys like tell us that, like, who worked for them. Like, we had a guy come up to us and he was like, every time you walk in the room, it's like, shit, Caliber's here.
That's a compliment. That's
yeah. I mean, and
I love that.
I mean, we almost run them out of doing it. Like, those people, wow. I don't see them. I mean, before COVID started, I didn't ever really see them at shows anymore. One of they're both run by some older guys. There was one called Rock Hard Live, and they were doing some stuff in Sacramento, and they've been doing it for a couple of years. And and they're not like what we do, where we have multi angles and we do all this post production work and we put together a polished product. They're kind of just out there documenting live stuff. So they're out there all the time just filming unknown bands and putting them up on the internet, and they've got a lot of drive and passion to do that, and that's awesome. But definitely as a live production company, we were the ones that flourished and really showed what we were capable of.
So I'm curious that like, speaking of drive and passion and all that stuff, what inspires you to do this? Like, what made you go like, this is what I want to do? And where did that come from? Who inspired you? What inspired you? What keeps you going? What is it?
I don't know. I mean,
what a great answer.
It might be. I mean, I have reasons for sure. Like, I love music.
Okay, that's a good start.
Like, I'm a huge music fan, and on top of it, my mother did graphic design growing up, and I started doing graphic design when I was 12. I started fiddling with Photoshop and working with Adobe products, and I slowly started getting into video in high school, and I was trying to do animation work. I did jailbreak themes. I created I sold products on the jailbreak store. I did websites.
Damn.
I've done all sorts of different things, but growing up through high school, I think one of the main things that like kept me going a lot of the time was music. I had a hard time in high school, and a lot of kids do, and
sure.
One thing that always stuck with me was music, and I would watch live videos constantly. Like, it's all I did was, when I was home, I was watching live videos. And some of my favorites of all time, like Slipknot Big Day Out, I think 2002. And you've got all those Big Day Out videos were just so sick. Like, you've got System of a Down from Big Day Out, and Psycho. And that video, just like, I'd watch that constantly, like them on the floor, just rocking out.
It's ridiculous.
Just like, out of their minds, just playing a show. And like, I watched all of that a lot, and I don't think it ever clicked with me that that's what I wanted to do. But I actually, it almost happened by accident with all of this, like, because I was doing band designs when I first started. I was doing graphic design under the name Outreach Design, and terrible name. Don't look it up. But I wasn't that good.
Zach, can you look it up real quick?
Let's put it that way. I wasn't that good. Let's put it that way. But I was okay, and I was doing a lot of stuff for some local bands, and then I was just constantly going to shows. I mean, I was seeing Bring Me the Horizon like 10 times a year.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Wow.
They were just, every time they were anywhere near me, I was just driving, whether it was LA, whether it was San Francisco, whether it was Las Vegas. I just had friends who were going to the shows constantly. So I just drive and meet them there.
Mhm.
So I started going to a ton of shows, and then I met Alfredo. And I met Alfredo in San Francisco, and he was telling me how he was like working on this company, and he asked me if I could design logos for CaliberTV.
There it is.
And at the time, he had a little box logo with the CaliberTV with the antennas on it. It was a little cartoony logo.
Oh, I remember that.
And that
logo.
was yeah, that was what Fredo had before I had joined. And then I did the first Caliber logo, which is the super skinny, tall with the big C.
Yeah.
And that one stuck for a long time. And we always hated it, but we never knew how to move away from it, because for a while we really liked it. But then it was like, it wasn't modern. It wasn't like clicking. And we didn't know how to remove it without removing our branding, because people would be like, we'd tell them like, oh, we work with Caliber, and they'd be like, huh? And
Right.
then we'd show them a video, and they'd be like, oh, as soon as they saw the logo, they were like, oh, I know you guys. Like, yeah,
definitely.
I see this all the time.
That's tough. Yeah.
So like for a long time we struggled with it on how we were going to change it. And then we actually, one of Alfredo's friends is a massive graphic designer in the Bay Area, and he's worked with like Nike and like all these like big companies. And he was just like, oh,
That's a
I'll
flex.
work on a new logo for you. So he came through and did the new Caliber logo, and he did a wonderful job at rebranding us. But sorry, I totally went off on that whole subject.
No, you're
But,
good, dude. I'm listening. I'm
it's a
intrigued.
story.
Yeah, it is a good story.
But yeah, when we started, it was literally just, it was Fredo basically doing it himself in the beginning, and he was going out with a single camera. And then I think Sam joined, one of our other videographers, and then I think I joined like a month or in the same month or something. And we started doing like multi-angles, and we started doing interviews and different things and trying to figure out what we were really good at. And the live videos was always the main focus, but it's obviously taken a lot of years to get to that point.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Because I'm coming up on 7 years with Caliber doing this, and Fredo started a year before, so 8 years with him. He started in 2012. I joined in 2013. So it's definitely been a long process. But yeah, I mean, my whole entire inspiration is that I love music, and I love documenting music. Like that's a big thing to me. Like we've done this for like no money forever. I mean, we've sunk all our own money into doing this. And, and a huge part of that is because we believe in what we do, and we also believe in the artists, and we love music. And like we've had so many shows where we just drive on our own dime down to LA, and like one of our first big shows, we drove down to film Crown the Empire at Chain Reaction in LA, and we drove down, well, not LA, but SoCal. And
sure.
So we drove down, and that was a big if whether we were getting in, because we were driving. We left at like 4 a.m.
Yeah, it's like a 6-hour drive, right?
Yeah, and so we had a band that was going to get us in. That was like a local, or actually no, sorry, it was. I don't remember what band it was, but they had their visas like rejected last minute, and they weren't able to make it. And we were already on our way, and we were like halfway down to LA when we heard word. So like we were like, okay, well, we either turn home or we just keep going. And we're doing this for free. Like we've just contacted people, and we've said like, we'd love to film this. And like we were nobodies at that point, so we're just investing everything that we have into trying to do this.
And those bands, I'm sure, appreciate you guys doing that, because content is content. If they thoroughly enjoy what has being created, then they come back to you and work with you in the near future. Yeah,
definitely. And and we've had paid opportunities because of that. So,
right.
But that was a show that was just like, we didn't even know what was going to happen when we got to the venue, and we're like contacting bands on our way there, and we actually contacted Youth in Revolt, not a band anymore, and
rip. Zach, you don't know them, but they were a decently post-hardcore band back in the day. Decently, except the vocals
to check them out then.
Vocals a little fucked up. They all agree, but it's what it. Did you work with? Accusations. Did you work with True, or did you work with Tanner when they were a thing?
True, but
yeah.
I wasn't really close with True. I mean, I messaged him here and there when we'd show up to gigs or something, and it was mainly at like Warped Tour, but
they were on Warped Tour, Ernie Ball for the whole year.
Yeah, so but I think it was Kenny who's in the band.
Kenny's a good dude.
And there was a couple other guys. There was another, I forget what his name is.
There was Devin on drums, but he got kicked out. George joined later on. He played guitar. Alex Ramos, he also plays guitar. I've met him a couple times. He's cool because he's from New Jersey.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but yeah. So like, you guys kind of went out. Were they playing Chain Reaction?
Yeah, so they were playing Chain Reaction. It was Crown the Empire, Volumes, and Youth in Revolt, and one other band that dropped out. But we actually we didn't know how we were going to get in, so we contacted Youth in Revolt, and basically we're like, we'll shoot stuff for you, like if you can get us in. And I actually did promo photos for them that ended up being one of their big promo photos in a parking lot right around the corner from
I know exactly
Chain
what
Reaction.
you're talking about. That's cool. I didn't know that was you. Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, so it's got the big blue sky, and that shot was done literally like 30 minutes before they had to go inside and sound check. So we just walked around the corner, shot promos, and went back in. But yeah, that show actually ended up being like a big thing for us, because that was our first video that we dropped that did well. Like, we dropped the acoustic millennial video for Crown the Empire, and at the time, we thought like, this is going to be the greatest thing ever, like this is going to blow up. So we left Chain Reaction, and while we drove home to LA that night, we drove down that morning, filmed, and left. And while we drove back, Alfredo sat in the passenger seat with a laptop and edited and cut the whole entire video.
Wow.
While we drove.
That's fucking passion. I love that.
And when we
shit.
got back to my house, we uploaded it to the internet, and that's when it blew up. And that was our first 100,000 viewed video. So, sometimes you just got to take risks and do things. And we did a lot of that. And we had a lot of times that it failed, where we drive ridiculous amounts of hours and we do things for free and get nothing out of it and get 5,000 views.
I know.
But
that's still
it's all part of the grind.
You telling the story, the thing it really clicked with me is obviously you have a lot of ups and downs doing anything from scratch. You driving down, making that drive, and having that moment of this apex of where we can either quit, do the easy way, or we can just suck shit, make this drive, and just say fuck it, let's see what's gonna happen. That's a beautiful moment. That pretty much symbolizes a lot of DIY stuff from the ground. I mean, if they made a movie about you guys one day, who knows what can happen? That
right.
that should be the moment. That should be the turning point moment. Is that drive down there, and I'm getting
that
hyped
is
up
the
thinking
moment
about that.
That might be the climax.
That's amazing, man. It's so refreshing to hear stories like that, because everybody gets discouraged with everybody wants to do their own thing and be their own boss and call the shots, and especially doing something that you're so passionate about. But
Yeah.
people need to hear that stuff, man. Of like, dude, like you could definitely just take the easy way and just go home and like call it a day, go to the next one. Like who knows what could happen, but nah, man, like that's true passion. Like that's amazing to hear that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I love seeing that
Definitely.
and hearing that, dude. Like internally, I was screaming. Like you can't hear me, but like inside my head and my gut, I'm like, "Fuck yeah!"
My
Like
dude, you were
I
clapping.
appreciate this shit. That's just a light form of it. I appreciate people who go out of their way to thrive for what they want instead of you just doing the bare minimum. So I could just I don't know, because I talked to a couple people, friends or guys that are in, or girls that are in bands and such, and it's so disappointing to see others who have God-given talent and they don't take advantage of it. Like even if they gave 10% more of what they are doing currently, they would probably be just as successful as some of their idols. So I applaud that. That's why I clapped. I get so hyped. Like that makes me appreciate people for what they do. Because I love when
For
people
sure.
Thank you, man.
seeing that shit. And it's crazy. And you guys don't do just live footage. And then that's like the beginning of Caliber TV. Like that's the beginning of everything. And you guys are starting to also put up like interviews. I mean, you've been doing them for a while. You guys interviewed Breaking Benjamin. I know that's on the channel somewhere. And you've also have been releasing original content of bands who are releasing new music and stuff. Is that something that we can expect more in the near future with Caliber's channel or BVTV, whichever goes hand in hand?
BBTV is always going to have music video premieres for sure. And Caliber, we're trying to do more of that. We're trying to develop a platform that we can push ads as well as, like push these bands on our channel. But that's a big thing that we've always, people have always kind of only come to us for the live videos. And a lot of the premieres, sometimes they'll do good and sometimes they don't. And a big thing behind that is that, a lot of bands think that once they get some big channel that's going to post something, they don't do as much, on their end of trying to push their video out, And it's, a lot of people might be either lacking knowledge on how to promote themselves, but that's a big thing that we're trying to change is, we've built our website. We rebuilt that during coronavirus, CaliberTV.net. And that is, it's a full publication at this point. We've got writers for us.
It's a great website. It's awesome.
Thank you. And we've got, editorials, we've got news, we've got galleries, live galleries will come back as soon as we've got shows going on again. And we've got all the live videos up there. So, and with our website, we'll be able to push ad platforms and do stuff for bands. So, if bands are premiering with us, then we have the option of pushing ads on the website as well. So that way, when you're reading about an article about Bring Me the Horizon, or you're reading an article about, Era, who just, dropped some new stuff or whatever, you're also getting, recommendations for bands that you might like. And that's a big thing that we're trying to push with our YouTube, is that we can promote you, and we're going to start doing it the correct way and pushing advertisements and actually, trying to actually be a driving force behind those views. So, and, in the past, we've always just, we've accepted premieres and done them for free. We've had people who've come to us and they want to drop something and we like it. And we send it around and we all make a group decision and we all decide whether we want to drop it. And then if we all like it and we drop it, most of those were 100% free. We didn't charge a thing. But, wow. now we actually charge something, and we're using that money to actually push into the back end of it. So, we have writers who will write an article about that band. So we pay our writer to write an article and do a single or a track analysis where they go through the tracks and they analyze and they pick out what they like, and they basically do, a review. And then on top of it, we put ads on our website and we run ads on YouTube. And, so we take a lot of that and we actually use that as a driving force to push views for those bands now. And we've only done one band with that so far, but we have another band that we're talking to about pushing another premiere with.
Oh, nice.
So yeah, we're working on it steadily and growing the system and, you know, expanding what we do. So yeah.
That's a great way to build the
that.
community. That's a great way to build the community and to keep it thriving, because the underground bands are going to be, you know, what the future is with that sound, with that genre, with how they go about shows or festivals or whatever. So, I mean, to put that on a perspective, to see the actual, I mean, I'm sure you can see some of these bands and like you might see yourself with the productivity that they're, you know, putting out there, the passion that they're putting out there. You know what I mean? So that's pretty fucking cool too. Like I would hope that I see, you know, more of that, which I'm sure I will. I'm sure we will like see more of these bands coming out. I think there's a couple other channels on YouTube that I know of that do that. But they solely promote bands, underground bands.
Yeah.
There's one called Dreambound. They're not.
Yep.
They're pretty
Dreambound's
decent.
cool.
Yeah, and then there's another one I can't remember what the name was, but
there was Beheading
builds a
the
good community.
Trader.
Oh, that is yes.
Yeah, Beheading the Trader. There was Chugcore.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that one.
Yeah, some big things went down with Chugcore. Apparently, they're owned by new people now, but but I don't know. A lot of things happened with that. There's a couple other pages as well. I can't think of any off the top of my head, but yeah, Dreambound's great. I found a lot of cool bands through them for sure.
Yeah, me too.
Including a band called Noasia, which is amazing. And if you haven't heard of them, Noija, Noasia. Yeah.
That sounds right.
And they're from Sweden. And those guys are absolutely mad talented, and they're wonderful. Definitely check them out.
Speaking of wonderful and with creative content, the Chelsea Grin hostage video is almost at 3 million views. So if you haven't checked it out now or in the past, or you want to watch it again, I encourage you to watch this video, because that is still one of my favorites on the channel. It's so good, dude. And
thank you.
Being at 3 million, you know, I'm sure Tom is really stoked about it. I'm sure. I mean, you know, now that you guys are working with him with Darko, and you guys are giving away a signed poster, I believe, or a printout poster.
Oh,
What's
yeah,
going
I saw
on?
that.
What's the details with that, real quick?
So, yeah, we had Tom sign one of the posters for the hostage video, and we told him that we'd do a giveaway when we shot the Darko video. So we actually just dropped that yesterday, and that ends next Friday, which is September
4th.
Yes. So September 4th that ends, and you just got to enter on Twitter by retweeting and following the Caliber account, and then we're going to send it off. And that photo was actually taken by an incredibly talented photographer named Kyle Tizio, and I believe he's in the LA area, and he's been absolutely wonderful. That shot, I swear, is one of the most iconic shots in probably all of deathcore by now. I mean, the thumbnail image of that, just with Tom's eyes and the way that
awesome.
You know,
it's so awesome.
It's so focused and crisp, and like, I think I know the video is like obviously, you know, what it is, and it's incredible and people love it, and it's got a lot of replay value. But I think that thumbnail helped a lot. That image is just like, it grabs your attention, you know? You look at that and you're just like, dang, that looks like a cool video.
Yeah, like I already knew of Chelsea, and when Tom joined, I was like, this is a goddamn powerhouse. Like this is Chelsea Grin's dream team. Like, it's amazing. Like, from coming from Lorna Shore, like I was a huge fan of the vocals right off the bat. I was like, this guy's incredible. And then when I heard he made the excuse me, when he made the transition to Chelsea Grin and joined them, holy shit! Like,
yeah, we blasted that in my house. I'm pretty sure my neighbors heard everything. It was fantastic.
Yeah, and do you know if they're working on another album? Because I know Eternal Nightmare was the last thing that they released. I'm pretty sure they are. I would hope.
Yeah, I'm positive that they're working on another album for sure. Yeah.
Solid.
I'm sure it's going to be absolutely amazing. I mean, they dropped the new track "Bleeding Sun," so they're definitely working on stuff. Yeah, it's gonna be tight. I'm hoping that we'll get to hear some of those Lorna Shore vocals come out on this next album, and I absolutely I love everything that Tom has brought to that band, and Eternal Nightmare was so cool, and the new track Bleeding Sun really shows off some of his other styles of vocals, and I think that we're gonna see a lot more of that in the new Chelsea Grin stuff. But I could be wrong. He could pull a 180 and do some really, really crazy stuff.
Starts clean singing out of nowhere, falsetto.
Do some ballads,
It's like, where I didn't expect this out of you.
Yeah, right.
Stuff like that.
It's all boy band. It's like, wow, I didn't expect him to do that. That's incredible.
Chelsea Grin as a boy band. Let's.
Oh, I'm in. I'm so
Death metal boy band. Death metal boy band.
We're just gonna have to hit up Pablo and just be like, man, it's time.
Be like, what are you talking about?
It's time to get an electronic drummer, dudes. Yeah.
You've wanted it for years.
It's time to just write super pop tracks. Just kidding.
Pop pops.
I don't think that'll ever happen.
Just pop pops.
Those guys are way too good at what they do, dude. Like Chelsea Grin is just phenomenal, and their live shows are just incredible. I'm so sad that the tours got canceled this year because they were about to go on some sick tours, and they were bringing on Traders. And if you haven't checked out Traders, one of the sickest, heavy, beatdown style bands ever. I mean, they're really sludgy and slow, and just those guys are stupid talented. And they're actually an unsigned band. And they were going on tour with Chelsea Grin for the whole tour.
Oh, wow.
Which shows how freaking insanely good they are. I
love when bands do that. They bring on bands that are just, very, very underground, and they see the potential. That shit gets me hyped too. It's like, that they're, the quality and the passion, they're just going to bring it to the table for that tour. So that's awesome.
Yeah, dude, I highly recommend looking up Traders. Right. They'll blow your mind.
Can we debunk the video real quick? Was that one of the guitar players? I know we talked about it before we started recording, but that's not one of the guitar players' kid. That's just some fan from the crowd, the little kid that was freaking out on the side.
In the hockey video,
she's going hard, and I'm like, I love that. She might be the same, or I don't know if it's a girl or a boy, but either way, the kid, they might be the same kid. That it's a girl, so she might be the same girl that also because this is 2018. Knocked Loose was in 2017. 2017, there was a video where Knocked Loose played Counting Worms. And she did the and it was fucking adorable, dude. I was like,
that's amazing.
That's a hardcore fan for life. But now the comment section, I thought the same thing. I thought it was one of the guys' kid, but it wasn't. You debunked that. So it was just a fan in the crowd.
It was. It was just a fan in the crowd. Kid was going nuts in the pit and just having a great time. And I'm pretty sure that somebody in Chelsea Grin's crew saw her and they brought her up on the stage. So cool. And I'm pretty sure her parents probably were on the back side of the stage, but she was at the front, just standing there, just doing Fortnite dances and having the time of her life. And that was the coolest thing ever to see.
Some good parents.
And I wish we could have put that in the video, but we didn't want to put somebody, under 18 in the video that's,
Smart.
Spotlight of the video. And, and we didn't have any way to contact the parents and ask, is this okay if we include her? But it ended up being a viral video on Twitter anyways. And the parents ended up being on Twitter. I'm pretty sure. I know I saw a comment where someone said, that's my younger sister. And they were like, because somebody was arguing that it was, one of the members' daughters, and they were like, no, that's my younger sister. So, but yeah, that was super cool. I've never seen, some kid do Fortnite dances to a deathcore band before, but I hope that it happens more often.
Yeah, right.
That was really cool.
No, we need more of that. That's insane, dude. That blew my mind when I saw. I love when new generation of kids are so into that kind of music because you don't think they are, just out of assumption. But that shit got me so hyped. Dude, listen, I appreciate you coming on. I appreciate you sharing your story. I mean, I'm looking really forward to what you guys have in the near future.
Thank you, man.
I'm glad that everybody and you and your family is staying safe.
Definitely.
You sounds like you got a lot going on in your plate and you have a lot ahead of you, production wise and just, the work ethic. So I give my best regards to you and your family and Alfredo and,
super close to 4,000 views too, or 4,000 subscribers as well on YouTube.
To how many?
100,000.
Oh, I know. Yeah.
So
we're getting there.
I think everybody should go subscribe and get them to 100,000.
Yeah, we're getting close.
And if you
and
don't,
I appreciate that, man. Like, I hope you guys are all doing good too. And, I hope that COVID has been treating you kindly. Like, it's a tough time for everybody for sure. And a lot of people really have to change up what they do and try to make money. And, we're all just working as hard as we can to make ends meet. So
yeah, we're all in this together. I mean, that's what we do. I mean, my concern is for everybody. I mean, I'm doing very well. I appreciate that. But I'm still, I still think about others just to make sure they're okay because we're all in this together. So hopefully the music industry can resume soon.
Are you relatively close to the California wildfires going
on? Yes. Yes and no. I mean, my girlfriend lives in Chico, so I've been in Chico a lot, and there's been quite a few fires up there. They had the Butte Complex fire that was pretty close to Chico.
That's where
mountains nearby there.
That's where Sierra Nevada is, right?
Yeah,
up in
Sierra
Chico?
Nevada.
Because I went to Vacaville back in like 2018 for a little bit, and I got a chance to go out. But damn, man, it's dry.
Yeah, it's
So,
very
I could
hot
say it.
up in Chico for sure. But yeah, we've just had tons of smoke. I mean, we had one morning where I just woke up and the whole room was just orange light coming through.
Oh, Jesus.
And
that's eerie.
you look outside and the whole if you know what a sepia filter is with cameras where it's like just brown and orange colored, it's what it looked like. It looked like the whole world just had like a sepia filter.
Natural sepia filter.
We're looking through the blinds, waking up in the morning and the whole sky's orange. Like, it's just crazy.
Well, hopefully you're like in a safe area and not too close to it.
Yeah, I think we're okay. We've had some warnings around us. We had a town that's like 20 minutes from my house that had a big fire. I think they got that put out. But yeah, the skies have just been covered with smoke, but mainly just staying inside and, changing our air filters, try to keep healthy. So,
Jesus.
Yeah, seriously.
Stay safe with it.
Yeah, definitely.
No, that's crazy. But we dude, again, thank you so much for coming on and doing this. I'm really excited to get this uploaded ASAP. And I mean, I hope we work sometime together in the near future. Zach and I are trying to plan doing in person probably by next year if the industry even opens. I'm sure we'll cross paths one of these days.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
definitely. That'd be awesome.
I look forward to that. So, thank you, brother. I really appreciate it. We'll be talking to you soon.
Take it easy.
You too.